I'm anxious to hear what you have to say, Bill, about how you do your thing on the farm and still pay the bills.
Thanks, Ron. I'm a fourth-generation conservationist. And when we get in discussions with people, say I'm a conservationist, I'm an environmentalist, and I look at them and say, yeah, that's great. So am I. I take 10% of my land, my dad's land, is in some kind of conservation easement CRP program. So we got 250 acres. We crop farm 2,500 acres of our ground. 250 that's in buffer strips, rim programs, desilting basins. One of the things that when Ron's crew, Bill, came out and looked at is my aunts and uncles and father donated 35 acres of sensitive land, class, help me out, class 1 river. Be class 1 or would that be class 5? A stream. Class 1. Class 1 wetland. Donated, made it into a permanent standing water. 3-stage desilting pond to stop the sediment that the farmers were running into this Lake Okabena, our water system. So we voluntarily gave the land up, put CRP buffer strips around it, cost shared government money, some of our money, made this big earthen desilting dam, 3-phase step process, supposed to be cleaned out every 10 years. Year 15, we took 5 truckloads of silt out of the first pond. Now, that might sound like a lot, but for the guys on this panel and anybody who knows dirt, 5 truckloads in a pond as a desilting basin is not a lot of dirt. That goes for the efforts above. Myron talked about the Dust Bowl. Did you know that from 1995 to 2005 we had less rainfall in the production areas of grain production than we did during the Dust Bowl? The reason we did not have another Dust Bowl is conservation. Every farmer, and I will say every farmer does some type of conservation for you. They either minimum till, they manage their nutrients, they CRP. Those are the things that we do on a daily basis. 1, because it's right. 2, because it's profitable for us to farm the good stuff. On that 2,500 acres, we try to maximize our tile. As a conservationist, the people in this tent, you should go to the Congress and say, we need a pattern tile to great parts of Minnesota. Tile is not a pipe. It does not run water from A to B like a sump pump. It slowly filters it out. It lets Mother Nature do its job. It allows us to keep these wetlands and sensitive areas out of production to feed the world. You know, we can say, yeah, we don't want to feed China, we don't want to feed India, we don't want to feed Africa. But as a farmer, I cannot do that. I cannot say I do not want to feed you, lady in the front row, because I think I want to raise less crop on my ground. I can't do that. I'm not raised that way. My 4th generation of farming tells me I can't. Those are the things that we do on a daily basis. Bill came out and I showed him a tile line running. And a lot of misconceptions, a lot of silt and dirt coming out of a tile line. The cleanest water in our wetland was coming out of that tile line. Nice and cold. There was actually deer tracks up to it. And I said, this is why tile works into a wetland. We drain our good ground, our high production ground, we drain into a wetland, let Mother Nature filter it, it moves on downstream, down the Mississippi River. And these are the programs that we work with NRCS, DNR, Bowser, these different things. That's what we do to try to make a difference. Now, the conversation came up earlier about, are we making a difference on pollution? Warren can touch more on this, but we in Minnesota piggybacked off of Wisconsin called Discovery Farms. So instead of taking a group of agency people and farmers and coming in and changing things the way we think it happens, we decided to measure what's going on, like Wisconsin, of what's going on in the landscape. Taking CRP land, pasture land, tree land, farmland. What's coming on? And we found out is we're doing a pretty good job in agriculture keeping the nutrients out. They're not dumping a lot of nutrients into the river system compared to what Mother Nature does on her own. Okay? Wetland Conservation Act, there is a national background law in there that we need to establish. And we as a group up here are working, and we're not perfect, not all of us agree on it, but we are working to get that national background and what we can change. And that is the stuff that we do on our farm, is I change the stuff that I can change and try to do the best.
Very good, thank you. We have about 11, 12 minutes left.